My name is Ana Santos. I'm a neuroscience student at Carleton University, and I do my research at the Royal Mental Health Care Center in the Institute of Mental Health Research. My parents immigrated here from Portugal, and I'm a first-generation Canadian, and they brought their farm work ethic here to give me the life that they never had. My mom went back to college when I was young to become a registered practical nurse, and at one point was working 3 jobs. My dad was working 6 days a week, and it was always still like a home-cooked meal on the table every night together. When I first came to the campus, I loved how small it was, and going through the tunnels, it felt so great that everything was connected, and there was like this sense of community that I picked up on like right away. It really cemented that like this is the place I wanted to be. I love the green space, and when I found the trees in the arboretum that I could climb, which I've been doing for almost 10 years, Carleton held such a special place in my heart, and I never wanted to leave, and I haven't. So I first learned about mental health when I first came to university. I took my first neuroscience class, and I learned about anxiety disorders and other types of diagnoses. And even though I'd been battling my brain for a long time, I didn't realize that things like insomnia and having constant panic attacks were actually like an issue that other people weren't dealing with. And then PTSD and bipolar fought, and they used panic attack, which was extremely effective at leveling me out entirely and sort of instigating this more long-term disability, especially when it happened multiple times. When it comes to school, like anybody who's ever struggled with their mental health will tell you that the biggest detractment is the fact that these issues reduce your cognitive capacity. And I've had to be really open and honest with my professors. And because of that, I've gotten a lot of compassionate responses, accommodations, extensions. I had to take a leave of absence when I was no longer able to work at all. And I ended up running into the ex-chair of the Neuroscience Department, Kim Hellmans. And I was telling her a little bit about what was going on in my life and how guilty I felt for always having to get these extensions. And something she said really stuck with me, which was that giving accommodations to people who have illnesses is not making it easy for them, because what you're going through isn't easy. And this is like what true equity is. To level the playing field, to make sure that I can be successful at the level that I'm at. So when I moved into my master's, we were lucky enough to have the affiliation at the Royal Ottawa, and that allowed me to craft a project. And so what we know now is that anxiety and depressive disorders are linked to changes in our gut microbiota. These gut microbes have a massive influence over almost every single process in our brain. So my project is looking to characterize what these microbial signatures actually look like, what these microbes might be doing, if it's related to changing our inflammatory immune system, and if this is associated with increased symptoms of anxiety and depression in humans. In my opinion, what needs to be done so more people like me can be successful is the people around us need to have more compassion and empathy and be committed to providing equitable opportunities so people who have these sort of struggles are not pushed out of having a fulfilling and successful life just because they have an illness. We're never going to have these societal changes unless people challenge the stigma that they have towards mental illness in themselves. And while this can absolutely really look like learning about different diagnoses or learning about different therapies and how to support people, like mental health first aid. I think for a lot of people, it just starts with actually listening and believing people's stories. When we connect with other people, it can really change our perceptions. And these are the small steps that lead to those big shifts that we need in order for people to be able to function and get the treatment that they need without being afraid of what that means for themselves.